Now to our next guest. The United Arab Emirates has taken more direct attacks from Iran than any other country, including Israel, in the last 7 weeks of war. Joining us now is the UAE's Minister of State for International Cooperation, Reem Al Hashimy. Thank you so much, Madam Secretary, for being here. So I want to get to that point. You have been attacked by Iran more than any other country, and we put together the numbers here. This is from the Gulf Research Center, and it shows, look at the numbers. I mean, you know them well. You have been attacked more than Israel, more than Saudi Arabia. Why has Iran aimed so much firepower at the UAE?
Thank you very much, John, for having me. Well, in 40 days, we were attacked a little over 2,800 with 2,800 missiles and drones. And for us, it's very clear that they've chosen to go down this path because we are everything that they're not. We're a model of economic prosperity. We have 200 nationalities that live there. We have religions and cultures from all around the world. We used our oil wealth to build an economic powerhouse. They used their wealth for nuclear programs that are nefarious, for missiles, drones, proxies, etc. So whereas we tried to become and have become an international, global, responsible player, they are a pariah state. And they wanted to break that model, but they underestimated our resolve.
So how concerned are you that at the end of this process, even if there is a deal, that Iran will retain the power to continue, once again, to attack the UAE?
So we're very concerned because we believe that it's really important that as part of a neighborhood that one is in, that you have neighbors that don't just launch these types of weapons against fellow neighbors. I don't know if you're aware, John, but over 90% of all of their targets was actually civilian infrastructure.
So
Hotels,
they weren't just going
airports.
after the U.S. bases or U.S. facilities?
Not at all, and not even the U.S. bases where nothing was actually fired from the U.S. bases, right? So they really wanted to break what it was that made the UAE special, which is this incredible model of prosperity and tolerance. Now, what we're looking at moving forward is how do you live with the reality of geography in a neighborhood that still holds and upholds not just international law, but also how are we going to be able to deal with a team in the IRGC that doesn't have such hostile intentions towards us.
So what do you make of the prospects for these talks in Islamabad? Do you think there's going to be a deal? Do you think it's...
Well, eventually there's going to have to be one, but it has to be a good deal, right? Because there's no point in kicking the can down the road when we're just going to end up where we started, maybe even with a more emboldened regime that wants to continue to hurt its neighborhood. So from our perspective, we do want to have peace in our region, but it can't be a bad peace. It can't be a peace where it doesn't address the root causes, which is Iran dealing with proxies like Hezbollah and Hamas and the Houthis, having a nefarious missile and drone program, a nuclear enrichment program, being able to weaponize the straits. I mean, that I think is a really serious tool that the Iranians have taken forward, which is to hurt cities from Des Moines to Delhi in spiking up fuel prices, in spiking up food prices. They don't have the right to do that. And that's why what the president has put forward, which is to not allow them to take over the straits, is going to be really important moving forward.
And you, I mean, they're your neighbors. You opposed this war in the beginning.
Yes.
You wanted a negotiated agreement in the beginning. Do you think that the Iranians, as the regime now stands, can be trusted to keep commitments even if they come to an agreement?
Look, trust is earned, right? And what we've seen so far has been a pure demonstration of a lot of hostility. So the onus is really on them to demonstrate that they are not going to be going forward in the way that the trajectory has been so far. But trust is earned, John, and we are not fools. We've seen them even before February 28th, when this started, a couple of weeks before that, one of our senior ministers was in Tehran talking through how are we going to be able to deal with, as I said, the realities of geography. Right now, they're going to have to really step up in a significant way for us to be able to believe what they say again.
President Trump has said that there has been regime change in Iran. I mean, obviously, the supreme leader was killed. A lot of the other leaders were killed. You don't think there's been regime change in Iran?
I know that personalities have changed, right? You have different characters that are currently in place. But how has that changed the character of the Revolutionary Guard? That's yet to see. Doesn't seem very hopeful, though, right now.
And let me ask you also about this threat that he's made to take out every bridge and every power plant if there isn't an agreement. Are you concerned about that?
We believe that maximum pressure is what actually takes you forward, dealing with the Revolutionary Guard, whether it's military, whether it's economic pressure, which is why that piece is going to be critical now that they've weaponized the straits, the tolling of vessels, the fact that they are able to have another amplified revenue source. Those are all things that need to be tackled. Ultimately, we don't want to hurt the Iranian people. That's very important to mention. But at the same time, it's the Revolutionary Guard that have taken forward a military stance and a posture, not against the US and Israel alone, but against the very neighborhood that they operate in through the Gulf states.
All right, Madam Minister, thank you very much for being here. Really appreciate your time and your perspective.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, John. Thank you so much. Thank you.